lovely gentlemen are, but I'm happy to be here with them tonight.
Yeah. Alright, what's going on, everyone? You're watching, hold on, is this mic on? Yeah. You're watching Vision Paradox answers your questions while we do stuff. It's a name in...
While we do stuff.
No, it's a name in progress, as you saw in the first episode. This is Joey, social media manager. And then, yeah, Gabby kept looking at that too, so look right here, right here. Alright, so this segment for Vision Paradox TV is where we just do stuff and we answer your questions and just let you guys submit.
Stuff.
Right now we're at Universal City Walk. We're in a project group.
Called what? Hey, Liz.
Called what?
What's this project?
What's this project called? So it's Vision.
We are all performing at City Walk, Universal Studios Hollywood, representing Project Lavad, and it's our last performance. And many other amazing teams such as Zulu Maniacs, Recipe Company, Birmingham High School, and Team LA. Follow me at Lady Liz.
You see here on my vlog a lot. So
And antics.
Just a double tap.
yeah. So we're gonna answer your questions on social media and video today. Get it out. This is generally it's a very loose format questions. God damn it. So Joey wasn't in the first episode. He's gonna pick the first 3 questions and then answer them. And I'll answer 2.
First 3?
Pick your first 2. I'll pick the last one.
I feel like this one's everyone's question. What's the best gear for vlogging? And that is camera and passion. Because like I've seen people vlog with cameras. I've seen people vlog with toy cameras. You can do it. Equipment comes later. Fame comes later. Just start. Just start. Best advice ever. Just start. Like what we're doing now. Just start. Camera, go.
Your phone is perfect. I vlog with my Note 8, and anything with an iPhone 5 and up is pretty good quality for vlogging. I think the main thing to worry about is not just the video quality, it's audio quality. If people can't hear you, then you got yourself a lost product.
Yeah.
So next.
And you really have to invest in it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. How much should I charge for filming and editing?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because you start and you're like, I don't know how much I should charge. And then at first you're like, oh, I'll do it for free for you, man. And then you're like, oh, we trade
we'll do it for exposure.
Yeah, exposure. Yeah. We trade exposure. I wouldn't get into that habit. I would definitely go like hourly first and then ask people like, hey, how much would you pay for this after you make a product? Because that really tells you like, well, I think your sound could be better. So I think I'd pay like a good $20 for this for every hour, or this much every hour. And also ask what your client wants, because if you're doing a doggy shoot and you don't need a rig, you don't need to bring all these mics, you just need to shoot dogs, it's going to be cheap and easy. So definitely ask your client after, and ask some friends and ask people who you trust to critique your work, because ultimately that will determine your price.
Yeah, especially if you have no experience and you're just starting and you've never taken editing, you've never taken any filming or anything. Yeah, starting to feel that. I would say get your first 3 or 4 projects for free, because you need the experience. It wouldn't be fair to charge someone, I don't know, nearly $1,000 for a project when you have no experience. And that's just an arbitrary number. The experience plays into a huge factor. If you have nothing, the only thing you have to give is time. And also, once you have that experience, go with what Joey says, is like ask what the client wants, because you don't know what kind of equipment you need. You don't know what the scope of the project's gonna look like. So yeah, last question. Let me pick this one. This is the question I want you to answer. I told you guys in the last episode I would have answer this. All right, my hand's starting to shake. It's such a heavy thing.
Oh, dang, dude. No wonder you're so buff.
Shut up. I answered this last time. You have to answer it too. I have a really big crush on a girl who lives thousands of miles away. Is it worth keeping her number / social media, or best move on? This is a social media question.
For me? Like personally, me?
Yeah, how would you answer that?
Move on, yo.
Yeah.
Life's too short to be in... No, I don't know. That's up to you. That's hard. I wouldn't do it because I feel like physical experience is important.
That's true.
Long distance in terms of... I know some people can do it. Look at like, hey, let's Skype date. Let's Skype
Liz,
date.
come here. You're gonna answer this too. Let it finish.
Let's Skype date. You know, that works with some people, but not me.
All right, so I gave a very different answer because I gave them my story with me and Maxine.
Yeah, so you have a history.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have a history
Oh,
with
you're right. You're right.
long
All right.
distance people.
All right, this is a great question. Crush on a girl who lives thousands of miles away. Is it worth keeping her social media / number or just move on?
Move on.
All right, so that's
Right?
the
Move on. See.
that's the answer from everyone. All right, so that's the first part of the first 3 questions of Vision Paradox. Answers the questions while we do stuff. We're gonna do tech, and yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. There's Bliss.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah. It's like half a shadow. We can still see ourselves. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So part 2. I feel like you should be. Shut up. Hey, look at this difference right here. I feel like we should switch because I feel like these are questions that might be more relevant. Joey, we're switching.
Well, I just got my camera. Obviously, I don't know all what the features are. You can explain this dial here for me. What do all these buttons mean?
So, these dials, some of them you need, some of them you don't. ADEP, I have no idea. Manual. I'm primarily on manual. I use it to practice my photography and also experiment. Manual allows you to set your shutter speed, which is basically if you're thinking of blinking and you keep your eye open, you retain more information, right? Compared to like blinking all the time. So longer shutter speeds is holding the eye open. That's how you get blurry pictures. And if you blink, you get like pictures, right? That's faster shutter speed. You know, like it's like 1 out of 4,000.
So like when someone jumps.
Yeah, you would
Okay.
want to take it at a
Got it.
shorter shutter speed.
Got it, got
So
it.
manual is really good. It also does ISO, which is a digital way to lighten up a picture. The higher the ISO, the lighter the picture, but also the more fuzzy it is. You're gonna notice like black spots aren't entirely black. It's like radio static.
Got it.
That's what ISO does. And then f-stop or aperture is how big your eye is gonna be open, I guess.
Okay.
You'll notice like if you open your eyes wide open, it kind of gets blurry, right? And then when you squint, everything becomes in focus, kind of, or what you're focusing on. Same thing in here. It's gonna represent itself on F and then a number.
Okay.
The smaller the number, you know those like portrait mode iPhone stuff?
Yes.
It's gonna mimic that, where whatever's in focus is gonna be in focus. Everything behind it is gonna be blurry.
Oh, I love portraits.
Yeah, so it's great for portraits. However, if you're taking like landscape photography or like a whole audience, you would want a higher aperture. Although darker, everything will be in focus. And you know, in terms of portraits though, I usually shoot at 8, so then you have most of their facial features and then like everything else is blurry.
Got it.
So yeah, manual is where I stay. I'd stay there too. Everything else is pretty much Google-fied. Everything's like an auto setting of a custom way to shoot. Like you have a sports mode here. So that's definitely going to prioritize higher shutter speed, or yeah, faster shutter speed. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else that I should like know before?
Experiment, because ultimately that's how you'll find your images. I've seen you shoot on Facebook. He's like a perfect example of just getting a camera and just doing it, because like I see your stuff on Facebook and that you just keep shooting and just uploading it, and then it's getting progressively better. I don't know if you're noticing it. I definitely notice it. But yeah, experiment, definitely. But yeah, you're getting good. I'm glad you're getting into this. High five.
I just need a better lens. Once I get my lens, I'm about to be the most professional. Okay, thank you.
Of course, thank you.
So I forgot this detaches, and I'm holding it with my hand. So if it's like, if you see it wilding out like in the shot, that's why I don't have a boom mic. Well, this is technically the mic. I don't have to stand for this. All right, so tech time. Oh, she's not angry now. I'll come back later.
Yeah.
What I like about these types of performances is that we're performing for regular people, and there's a huge amount of people that are going to come and watch us. The other places were good, but they were there to watch other people. Tonight's about us. It's about Liz's choreography. Dinner. Dinner. Dinner.
Dinner, dinner, dinner. Dinner, dinner, dinner.
Round 2, tech time is done. Round 2 of questions is coming up soon. Welcome back to Vision Paradox Answers Your Questions while we do stuff. We just finished tech. Jordan's here, capturing some of the behind the scenes stuff for Liz. Joey's eating. And we're gonna answer some of your questions. Again, I apologize I didn't write any of your names when I collected these questions. And I know we're a new channel. You know, we're improving as we go along, getting ready to perform. And Jordan is just right behind me doing his thing. You know, Jordan, he does filming. We're gonna be answering your questions on social media, video, and photography today. First question for round 2 is for Jordan, or Joey, or either one of us. I just found that I'd like to make photography a new hobby. I don't know where to start. Which camera should I buy? Is there any useful books about it that you can recommend?
Oh, okay, hey. Look at this little corn dog thing. That's a very interesting question, and there is never really a right answer to that. But I'm just gonna say what I got. I got a Nikon. The first model that I shot with was a Nikon D3000. It was an entry level. I think it was about like $600 when it came out. And I just used the lens that it came with. I used no books, and all I did was shoot my friends and family, and I just spent hours and hours taking pictures of random things like plants, my phone, my chargers, my blankets, and I don't know, it was just random. It was just play, like it was just fun, like I didn't really care. But if I were to recommend you something, I would recommend a Sony mirrorless camera if it's in your budget, just because they're the future. They do everything DSLRs do. They weigh less, and I think that's a big thing because they can shoot photos and videos, and just the things you can create are like limitless. So that's what I would recommend.
Okay, what's the difference between a mirrorless and a DSLR?
Now, the size of mirrorless is smaller. There's a lag, so mirrorless, if you look through your viewfinder, you'll find that every time you switch your settings, it's on the viewfinder. Opposed to mirrorless, you switch those settings, you have to take a picture to view your picture. Oh yeah, take a picture to view your picture to see what type of lighting situation you have, because it's off a mirror, not, you know, a digital screen. I mean, mirrorless has been around for a while, so you'll find a lot of cheaper, more compatible lenses and bodies with mirror cameras, and they're a bit bulkier. It's really up to you at this point in generation what you use. There's almost like no differences.
What are some good tips in taking good-looking videos?
Follow the photography rules. Rule of thirds, symmetry, easy like composure. Like don't be George Lucas and put everything in one picture. Like have a focus, leading lines. Like stick with simple stuff, because ultimately the simple stuff is what looks pretty, and you don't have to work too hard about it. You don't have to think about it too much.
I have an answer for that question.
Oh, there you go.
You should figure out what you think good-looking videos are first. Like watch videos. If you think a video looks bad, don't worry about it. Look at good videos, and then try to look for tutorials on how to make things in that video. There you go. Simple. YouTube University, Google University.
Last question, what are some common mistakes beginning photographers do? The common mistakes. Common mistakes. Last question before we go on.
Beginning photographers think they need a grand budget just to do things. Like I said earlier, just begin, because you're gonna be like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this, and you're never gonna begin. You're never gonna start. So start small. If you can kill it at the small budget game, you can kill it at the large budget game. So biggest mistake is photographers or videographers who feel like they need a big budget or these gadgets to do these projects when they don't.
I think a mistake is you get discouraged when things don't look the way you want, and you shouldn't, because most likely you just don't know how to make a picture look like that, and you just need to learn, you know? Figure out what is a good picture and why is it good, and then try to figure out how to do those things. Because there are times where like you don't have the equipment, and equipment's like a money thing, but that doesn't mean good pictures won't come out. Just believe in yourself and try to learn as much as you can.
Boom. Okay, so that's it for this round of Vision Paradox. Answers questions while doing stuff. We gotta head down. We're going to the backstage and start getting ready to perform. Catch us for the last portion. Where are we gonna be at? Hope you guys are enjoying this episode.
There is an outside.
So,
There is an outside. Well, I don't know if they would allow this.
oh,
So using phones.
you know, we're probably gonna have to resort to our phones.
Like,
So we'll see you guys in the next segment. Enjoy the B-roll of the performance. Ready? Wipe. And go. Feeling being on stage and performing for people is one of the most addicting feelings on earth. So it's 15 minutes before the show, and that means it's time to get warmed up.
Hey, what's up? City Walk, let me hear you make some noise. We here on a Saturday. It's nice and breezy out here. Let me hear you make some noise. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you Project Love Bud.
Alright, so that's it for the performance. Gonna finish the last segment of Vision Paradox TV. Where's my phone? Oh, the questions are on my phone.
just make up some questions.
Alright.
Lightning
Okay.
round.
Lightning round. Alright, what kind of questions? Alright, so
Be like sand.
this is part 3, last part of the Vision Paradox answers questions while we do stuff. We're at Margaritaville. We just finished performing. It's about 11 at night. We're tired. We've had a couple drinks and food and drinks and food.
Responsibly.
Yes, I'm Ubering home. We're using my phone as a light source right now, as you can see. This is pretty G with the tissue paper as a diffuser. So I don't have any prepped questions. Let's see.
Okay.
Do you need to go to school to do video? As in college?
Let's see. I learned all my techniques at school. I learned my passion by myself. So I guess to answer that is I would go to school again just to learn photography, because then you're put into a place where you have a bunch of other people learning the same thing, and a bunch of other people who care, and a bunch of other people who will critique your stuff like crazy, and other people that will inspire you as well. So I definitely think school is very useful, but I also think that if you're passionate enough and you're resourceful enough, like this diffuser thing with tissue,
This is G.
I wouldn't second guess your ability. Go ahead, go, do it. But I think school will definitely help. Yeah. It's expensive though.
Yeah, I agree with him. School definitely gives you an environment to grow, but if you don't have that money, or you don't want to go into debt, and if you have the passion and the drive, then
Yeah, work for it.
solo is good.
I like this like half.
Oh
blue
yeah, it's like we're
tan.
facing off. Like
Yeah. Like before those fights.
yeah, like
How do I get gigs?
ooh, that's a
How,
really good
how
one.
do you get gigs? Connection?
The best, yeah, I'd say the best way is always through connections, through people who might know someone who knows someone who knows someone. Like start off with some.
Be charming. Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is the Teresa, T-H-E-R-E-S-A, Marie, M-A-R-I-E. And I don't know who these lovely gentlemen are, but I'm happy to be here with them tonight,
Yeah.
sharing this human moment.
It's a good night.
It's a good night, right?
Yeah.
It's a good night to be alive.
Yeah. Are you heading home?
I am. I'm going with them.
Okay. Yes.
Bye.
See, we just made a connection right
Just made
there.
friends right there. You never
Just got a client.
This episode's pretty
Loose, yeah.
Okay, gigs.
Gigs.
I asked like the easiest one.
Is Google Drive, just pay for it.
like-
All those gigs.
Not those. Okay. Start off with your immediate circle, friends, family. Ask them if they need something. If you are, or if they know someone who needs something, needs that kind of particular skill set. Someone always knows somebody that needs a particular skill. And the next thing is Craigslist, but filter that out. You got to bid that hard. The next thing is Facebook groups. That's how I've gotten some of our
Facebook groups.
That's how I've gotten some of our Vision Paradox clients. I just put it up there. Always thinking about how your service is gonna help them. Think of what the other person wants. But yeah, those are my top three. Like just off the top of my head, your connections, like email, phone numbers, ask around, Facebook groups, and Craigslist. Like that's like because you don't want to like you can get fancy and do all these Facebook ads, but I would just say good old-fashioned talking to people, networking events. Those are good too. All right.
Mine was family, but you have to learn that family gets you so far with business. And friends as well. Like in terms of taking advantage, you really have to hold your ground. That's my start, and then really reaching out to people. Like I've been to Carnival, I've been to Friday Night Raw. I'm like, hey, can I take a video of this? Hey, by the way, I'm sharing this on this. Would you be interested in like seeing it and seeing how I edit? And then that's really how people come up to me and like, hey, I love your stuff. Can we shoot something? Sometimes it's like, hey, can you shoot this event once? And then I'll think about like actually going more serious. And that's when you're like, okay, you have to limit yourself to where like, okay, I can't give them everything, because if I do give them everything, then
You're gonna take it.
they'll take advantage. They might leave you in the dust. They're like, okay, that's what I needed. Bye. So it's really just connecting with people, because like that personal connection, like being there, puts faith in you, I guess, and it's just so much nicer. And
Networking events is a great place because you get to talk to them immediately, you get to film their stuff immediately, and then show them what you got.
boom.
Boom. And then that's it. You can get a potential client. Businesses are always looking for content to promote themselves, especially in this current era. So I think that's it. Any last thing?
Bye.
So that
Thanks
is
for
it
watching.
for Vision Paradox stuff while we answer your questions. Let us know for a better name. Comments down below. If you guys got any other questions, comment that too. Battery's gonna die. This is Joey. Jordan was here earlier. We're gonna hang out and mingle and hang out.
Get mess.